Good morning students, welcome to the virtual classrooms. We are studying it as in chemical bondings. We studied many of the properties. Today we will be studying it as in something related to the VSEPR theory. Now what is it? VSEPR. It means valence shell electron pair repulsion. Now this theory was very first time given out by the scientist named Nielom and Gillespie. They tried to explain the structures of the compounds. Now that why they wanted to explain the structure of the compounds, when we are plotting it as a dot structure. Dot structure has a limitation, you can't say what will be the shape of the molecules. They tried to explain with the help of valence bond theory the structures of the compound, whether we will be having it as in some specific shape of the molecule formations. We will come across all the different types of the shapes that we will be having it, right? So in this theory they wanted to explain certain valence shell electron pair repulsions, and to explain that they were having it as in certain postulates. What were they? They told that according to them, the first of all, the shape of the molecule, the shape of the molecules depends on number of lone pair of electrons present with central atom. They depends upon the number of the lone pairs of electrons that are present in the central atom, right? Second one, the lone pair of electron tries to occupy maximum space with having minimum repulsion between them. That means if you are having it as a lone pair and bonded pair, the lone pair will try to remain as far as away from one another. They won't come closer to one another because there is a repulsive forces between them. So they will try to remain as far as away from one another. That means they will be occupying maximum space in the total molecule, whereas there will be a minimum repulsion. So that means they wanted to say that these pair of electrons, they will try to remain as far as away from one another because they are having it as a maximum repulsion between them. So when the third factor, they told that the lone pair electrons shows maximum repulsion between them compared to bonded pair electrons. When you are having it as a bonded pair electrons, then your repulsive forces are decreased. Lone pair are having a maximum for it. And the fourth factor, they told that this theory will be also applicable for compounds showing. So one of the property that we have already seen it as in covalently bonded compounds are having a resonance. That resonating structures, when you are having it, they also shows the change in this property. That means the bond angle between them would have been changed, right? So they can have, we are having it as in this postulates which shows that according to this postulates, lone pair electrons has maximum repulsions compared to lone pair bonded pair compared to bonded pair That means we can write it as lone pair lone pair is having a maximum repulsion than lone pair bonded pair compared to that of bonded pair. Right? And because of this property, we are going to get it as a different structures of the compound, and that's the reason why they classified these compounds, or to explain the shapes of the compounds, they classified into two, whether it's a thus structure of compounds are classified in two categories. First one, without lone pair electrons present on central atom, and second, with lone pair electrons present on central atom. So we are going to get it as two different components, with lone pair, without lone pair. First of all, we'll see it as the compound without lone pair of an electrons, right? What type of a shapes they will be forming it. So particularly when we are coming across, first of all, without lone pair of an electrons, let's take it as an examples of without lone pair of an electrons. Shapes of the compounds which do not contain lone pair of electron on their central atoms. So first of all, we'll take it as an example of the compound which is not having it as a lone pair of electrons onto the central atom, right? So for that case, the first example that we will be taking it is a compound with Eb2 type. Now what does it means? A is a central atom, B are the bonded electrons. So if I write it, A is an atom without lone pair of an electron with it, that means it will be having it as a bond angle of 180. Shape is linear. Bond angle you got it as a 180. Shape is a linear. The example, if we want to write it, we can write it as BeCl2. You are having it as a BeCl, Cl. They are linear. They are having it as a bond angle of 180, and because of it, we get it as an Eb2 type of a molecule with a linear shape, right? Let's take another example, that if the central atom is bonded with 3 atoms, then in that case what will happen? A is a central atom, no lone pair of any electrons. As a result, it will form trigonal planar structure. Example, BF3. or BCl3, BH3, AlCl3, many other examples are there. But what does it shows? The bond angle formed between them will be always 120. See, when you are having linear, bond angle is 180. Trigonal planar, bond angle is 120. It do not contain any lone pair of an electron on the central atom. Eb4, that means your bonds, 4 covalent bonds are there. The shape formed is tetrahedral. The bond angle formed by it 109 degree 28 minutes. CH4. You can see it that the carbon is having 4 valence electron and 4 of them are bonded with one another. So no lone pair of an electrons are left out. Right? Let's take it as an AB5. That means A is there. It's going to form trigonal bipyramidal. The bond angle, 3 of them is 120. 2 of them are 90. So this you will get it as 120, but this one you will get it as 90. 3 of them are in a plane, 1 from the top, 1 from the bottom. So you are going to get it as 120 and 90. Similarly, AB6, you will be having it as an the shape you are going to get it is a octahedral. Each of them are having bond angle 90. Example, you can get it as an SF6. So this shows us these are the different bonds. Further, molecules are not possible because if you are having 7 electrons in its outermost orbit, it will go only for 1 more electron. So that won't be possible. So this shows that if you are having it as in 6 electrons, 6 bonds that are formed, then you are going to get it as in different shapes. So again, let's revise it. What are the possible shapes? No lone pair of electron, AB2 type of a molecule, A central atom, B bonded atoms. Shape is linear, bond angle 180. AB3 trigonal planar with bond angle 120. AB4 tetrahedral shape with bond angle 109 degree 28 minutes. AB5 we get it as trigonal bipyramidal with bond angle 3 of them forming 120 and 2 of them top and bottom are going to form 90. AB6 you are going to get it as an octahedral, or the bond angle formed by them is 90 each, right? But all these examples are for those compounds which do not contain lone pair of electron in their central atom. So we don't have any lone pair of electron present in the central atoms. Here your central atom was Be, B, C, P or S. They were the central atom. If I plot their dot structure, I don't have any lone pair of an electrons left with them. Now in place of that, if we go it for the certain compounds which are containing lone pair of an electrons in them. So let's take an example of those compounds which contains lone pair of electrons present in them. Then what will happen? What will be the change in the shape of the molecules? So we will take it as which in place of do not, do contain lone pair of an electrons. A second time, which do contains lone pair of an electrons in the central atom. So that means we will take it as an example of AB2, but it contains one lone pair of an electron in it. For this, we will give it as an example of SO, when you are having it as the compound SO2. Now sulfur, 6 electrons in its outermost orbit. Each of them are shared 2, but still contains one lone pair of an electron. This is considered to be as a lone pair present on it. That means my central atom A, it's bonded with B, and one lone pair is present. In actual condition, when the lone pair was not there, its shape should be linear. Two molecules are bonded with one central atom, it should be linear, but it's not here, so we are getting here bend shape. The shape of the molecule changed. Now here I can't even specify the bond angle, because depending upon the size of the central atom, this angle will change. So compound to compound it will vary. So here we can't say it. We can say it as it do not have linear shape because of the presence of one lone pair. See, now because there was only one lone pair, I got it as bend shape. But if I am going it for two lone pairs, the compound, example H2O, we know it that oxygen, it has two lone pairs that are left out when it gets bonded with hydrogen. So at that time what will happen? This oxygen is also not going to form a linear structure, it's also going to form a bend shape. See, I am not going to indicate it. In place of bend I will write it as V shape also, because it contains two lone pair, but I am not specifying its bond angle, right? Because the bond angle formed by AB2E, it's a bigger than that of AB2E2, because there are two lone pairs. So these two lone pairs will try to occupy as much as space they can, and as a result bond angle will decrease. The bond angle is always measured between two bonded pair atoms, right? So we are going to check the bond angle of this. Here this. So we are going to say that AB2E is having greater bond angle compared to that of AB2E2, but both of them are going to give me a bend shape. They don't give me a linear shape, right? Similarly, if we take it as an example of AB3E, we can't have it as an AB2E3. We can't have it. We don't have any such compounds, because what will happen if I go it for, the question might be there for the students, sir, you took it as an AB2E, AB2E2. Let's take it as AB2E3. E3 means 3 lone pair of electrons, that means 6 electrons, and 6 electrons plus 2 bonded pair. So 8. Compound was already having an octet. How can it go for more than 8 electrons? So stability of such compounds are very, very less. Exceptionally, compounds will be there. Exceptionals. So we don't discuss those exceptions, particularly for this theory, right? So we will take it as the next one, AB3E. This compound, it's having it as 3 bonded and 1 lone pair. I just wrote out the example, NH3. NH3, 3 bonded, 1 lone pair. So actually 3 bonded electrons, they should have a planar structure, trigonal planar, right? If they don't have lone pair, AB3 was having trigonal planar, but because the lone pair is present on it, it's not trigonal planar, it's forming it as an pyramidal. It's forming it as an arrangement of an electrons as pyramidal, right? So the shape of the molecule has been changed. Okay, let's take it as suppose if we are having it as another example where we are having it as an AB4E molecule. AB4E. Now the question arises, Which compound will have such example? SF4. Sulfur has 6 electrons in its outermost orbit. 4 are shared with 4 fluorine. When you study its shape, the shape of the molecule, AB4 should have tetrahedral. We saw it. AB4 means only if I am having it AB4, it's a tetrahedral. Because the lone pair is present with it, its tetrahedral shape is going to change to a seesaw shape. We will be getting it as an sulfur with lone pair, one fluorine, and it's going to form it as seesaw shape. Right? So the shape has been changed. Or if you see it, the arrangement of the electrons, it's becoming it as an trigonal bipyramidal. It's not remaining it as an square. It's becoming trigonal bipyramidal because of this lone pair of an electron present in it. So the shape is considered as seesaw. Arrangement of the electron is considered as trigonal bipyramidal. Right? Okay. Let's have it as an example of AB3 E2. What will be the change in it? When you are having it as an AB3 E2, then at that time A you are having it as an same shape, trigonal bipyramidal, but these are the arrangement. The shape is considered as T-shaped without lone pair of an electron. It's considered as T-shape. When you are going it for the shape of the molecules, we don't consider the lone pairs in it. When you consider the lone pairs, they are considered as an arrangement of the electrons. So if I write it the arrangement of the electrons, then both of them are having trigonal bipyramidal. But if I am writing the shape of it, I am writing this as seesaw, this as T-shaped. Right? Now because of the lone pairs, the shapes, they are changed. Right? Okay. Let's take it as AB5E. That means you are getting it as in phi, one as lone pair. So in actual, without lone pair, we write it as trigonal bipyramidal. But because the lone pair is there, its arrangement becomes octahedral. Its arrangement is becoming octahedral. But the shape, if I want to write it, it's a its shape is becoming square pyramidal because the lone pair is not considered. So it's a square, and from the top of it, one we are getting. So shape is square pyramidal, but arrangement of the molecule you are going to get it as octahedral. Okay. Let's see. These are the different shapes that are given to us. Right? In our textbook we have been given out AB4 E2. So what will happen? You are going to get it as in 4 atoms forming it as a square planar, and the 2 lone pairs at a maximum distance. You can say that they are away from one another at an angle of 180. So that is the maximum distance. Overall, with a lone pair, if I see the arrangement is octahedral. But the shape I am going to get it is a square planar. Right? Now why this we want to study it? So all these structures, whatever we saw it, we are having it as a different give reasons for it. Particularly an example of ClF3. I am taking it as a particular example of ClF3. I will be having it as in 3 possible structures for it. But out of that, the stability of those 3 structures, where to show it? See what is the difference. I am going to get this as A, B3, E2. I am having it as a central atom with 7 electrons in its outermost orbit, Out of that, 4 of them are bonded, lone pairs, and 3 of them are bonded. So where to show this? So if I go it for the structure A, B, B, here I got it as this one with one lone pair over here, one lone pair from the top and one from the bottom, right? Okay, second possibility, why to show it like this? In place of that, if I show the structure, one lone pair is over here, another lone pair is over here. The structure, in place of putting these two lone pairs over here, we placed it over here. And again, these two, putting it onto two different planes. Let's place it. One lone pair over here, another lone pair is over here, while two of these are over here. So what does it show? These two are in an angle of 120. These two, they are at an angle of 90, and these are showing it as an angle of totally opposite to one another. So out of this, which one will be at a maximum stability? Which component? So it is shown that the compound with two lone pairs, if I put it the 1, 2, 3, third structure is maximum stable. Now why it is so? It's more stable than first, and first is more stable than second. Now what is the reason for it? These two electrons, they are at an equatorial positions away from one another at a maximum bond angle of 120. You can say that the bond angle formed by these two are at an equatorial position with a bond angle of 120. Why? These two are at an axial positions and they are forming with a central atom the bond angle of 90. One is at equatorial, one is at as an axial position, and the bond angle formed by them is 90. Right? One from this, it will be forming it as an 90. So more stability will be there for the third structure. So like this, a question can be there for the given compound. Which one will plot the dot structure, plot the possible shapes of the molecules and find out which one will be a maximum stable. Right? So this is one of the example. Like that, we can have it as in many examples for it. Is it enough for today? VSEPR theory, dot structure, they are going to be an interrelated with one another. So those who have not studied the first lecture for the dot structure, it's necessary that they should be able to draw the dot structure. They should be able to find out the number of lone pairs of electrons. Right? They are going to be very important to change the shape of the molecules. Right? Okay. A table given in your textbook with a lone pair, without lone pairs, examples, learn them, their shapes are necessary, their arrangement of the atoms are necessary to be known. So make it sure that you go through from the textbook the whole table. Some of the examples that I took it, I did not took it as an all the examples. Right? Many examples are there. You can be asked, except whatever are given, the concept should be clear, not the particular example. Okay? So that's all for the today's lecture. In the next lecture, we will go through Valence bond theory. Thank you.